Hello and welcome to Wednesday's programme.
Your headlines tonight. A man's body has been found on a rooftop garden in Bristol. Police are treating his death as suspicious.
Also tonight, digging deep in Dorset, how Weymouth is giving up some of its ancient secrets.
I'm at the boxing club, which has had some good news but still has a big fight ahead.
And we've covered snowdrops, bluebells, daffodils, tulips. Now it's all about the glorious Wisteria. Find out much more about that in a little while.
Good evening. First tonight, police are investigating after the body of a man was found on a roof garden at a block of flats in Bristol.
He was discovered at a property on Redcliffe Street. The death is being treated as suspicious, and Richard Payne is live there for us tonight. Richard, what more do we know about this situation?
Alex, please tell us that the man's body was discovered, as you say, on the rooftop of this recently built block of flats in the centre of Bristol early yesterday morning. And ever since then, there has been a significant police presence. They will be talking to residents nearby, examining CCTV in the area and carrying out a thorough search of the property itself, of course, and the surrounding area. A post-mortem is underway tonight to try to establish how this man died. Police are not yet revealing his name, only that he was a man in his 50s. His next of kin have been informed, and they are being supported by specially trained family liaison officers. This is being handled by the Major Crime Investigation Team, and they say, understandably, the local community will be alarmed at what is happening in their neighbourhood, but they say neighbourhood teams will be here offering reassurance and trying to answer any questions people may have about what happened here. Clearly still lots of information to come out as we speak to you tonight, and police are asking anyone with any information to step forward urgently and provide that to them.
OK, Richard, thank you for that update. Richard Payne reporting there.
A man who drove off after hitting and killing a pedestrian in Bristol while speeding and using his mobile phone has been jailed for 5.5 years. 76-year-old Philip Cole died of his injuries 5 weeks after he was hit by James Randall's van in Knowle West in January 2024. Randall failed to stop at the scene. He pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving at Bristol Crown Court.
A 150-year-old Wiltshire company has gone into administration with the loss of 71 jobs. Airsprung, which is based in Trowbridge, makes mattresses and beds. The company has faced difficult trading conditions, and as a result, directors say they've had no choice but to place it into administration. The administrators say they will explore any interest in the business over the coming weeks.
Such a shame, such a well-known business, isn't it?
I know.
Now, animal rights campaigners are calling for stricter regulations of game bird breeding farms, claiming some of them cause unnecessary suffering and even serious environmental hazards. ITV News has obtained undercover footage of what's being described as the largest ever investigation into the bird shooting industry.
Well, legal experts say there could be suspected breaches of the Animal Welfare Act, with pheasants being kept in cramped and stressful conditions. Nick Smith has this report, and I must warn you, some viewers may find some of this footage distressing.
Game bird shooting divides opinion in a battle between tradition versus animal welfare. Those representing the shooting industry claim it generates up to £3 billion a year, with more than 150 organised shoots across the southwest. But it's the breeding process that's now coming under fire.
Each year, up to 60 million pheasants and partridges are released into the English countryside. But they're not born in the wild. They're actually bred and reared on intensive farms. They're then sold off during the summer months to estates, ready for the winter shooting season. But many animal welfare groups have grave concerns about some of their practices.
I'm sort of stuck under the feeders and they just don't eat. stuff just gone.
This is footage from an undercover worker filmed last year at one of 7 farms investigated by campaign group Protect the Wild, who claim it shows evidence of breaches of animal welfare laws and codes of conduct. The worker chose to speak to me while hiding his identity.
Do you think the public are completely unaware about what goes on at these farms and some of the things which you had to witness?
I'd say they are. I saw shocking things. You know, a bird had a damaged leg, and when this was brought to the attention of one of the workers, he literally just said, well, you know, as long as she can still lay an egg, don't worry about it.
Lays eggs, it'll lay eggs, it's fine. Yeah. Sounds cool, it might have a damaged leg, but if it can still lay an egg.
It's literally a case of breeding as many birds as possible to survive for as long as possible, to be sold and then shot.
To prevent fighting, birds are seen placed alone in small cages with little room to move, one of a number of concerns observed by Protect the Wild.
We have conducted what we believe to be the largest undercover investigation into the British bird shooting industry. You've got probably hundreds, if not thousands, of these cages in fields across England where these birds are not able to show any, natural behaviours. There isn't proper legislation, there isn't proper regulation, there isn't proper oversight of what they're doing or how they're doing it, and that is a serious, serious problem.
A dead hen was also found with potential septum damage from fitting a beak shroud, which could breach welfare guidelines due to the pain of the procedure.
Been putting this foam out and all sorts of poisoning methods that you're not supposed to use in a desperate effort to try and kill what's here because they're eating the eggs.
This may imply improper use of rodent poison, which is highly regulated due to environmental risks. Poison pellets were also found uncovered beneath cages, potentially risking consumption by wild birds. Aisha Smart is a barrister who specialises in animal welfare law. She has reviewed the footage for Protect the Wild.
These game bird farms, they are less frequently visited in comparison to, say, for example, your factory farms where you've got pigs and cows and chickens. So there's no compulsory requirement to go in and inspect them. In terms of the environmental conditions that these animals are put in, they're put in cramped, barren cages. It's effectively like being in solitary confinement in a prison. They're resorting to aggression with other birds because they're so hemmed in. When you compare it to the legislation, there's no underlying justification for that.
The Game Farmers Association declined our offer for interview, but in a statement told us, the GFA promotes high welfare standards and best practice across the game farming sector, and the overwhelming majority of game farms operate to these high standards. Where issues arise, we work with members to address them and improve practice. However, the GFA does not have legal powers of enforcement. We reached out to the farm filmed by the undercover worker with multiple requests to address his allegations, but had no response. Those running game bird shoots often say conservation and sustainability are at the heart of what they stand for. But more questions are being asked about the industrial scale of how their targets are bred and the pressures that puts on the wider environment too. Nick Smith, ITV News.
OK, well, we put the allegations in Nick's report to DEFRA and the Animal and Plant Health Agency. A DEFRA spokesperson says we want to see the highest possible animal welfare and environmental standards across the game bird industry. In March, we announced that we would review the evidence and issues associated with it.
Meanwhile, the APHA told us we take breaches of animal welfare legislation very seriously and investigate every allegation reported to us. We will always take appropriate action where non-compliances with regulations are found. You're watching ITV News in the West Country with Alex and Seb.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us this Wednesday evening. Still ahead before 6:30, The Big Dig, the project in Weymouth, uncovering the town's history.
And a cascade of purple and white. Charlie's in Somerset for some Wisteria hysteria.
I love that so much. So great. It's so great, and I can't wait for you to see it as well. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, tomorrow is polling day for 2 local councils in our region. They are Cheltenham and Swindon.
Yes, voters will cast their ballot to decide who represents them when it comes to local issues like parking, bin collections and planning. Our political correspondent Alicia Fitzgerald explains which council seats are up for grabs.
This week, voters will head to the polls for local elections across England. Here in this part of the West Country, there are only 2 sets of council elections, in Cheltenham and Swindon. Swindon is becoming a major battleground. The entire council is up for grabs. That's 57 seats in total, so you need 29 to gain a majority and therefore win. Labour currently run the council, taking it from the Conservatives in 2023. It was seen as a big win and proof that Keir Starmer could become Prime Minister the following year. Swindon is known as a bellwether, as the way the town votes often reflects the national picture. So the smaller parties like Reform UK are targeting the town, as the result will be seen as an indicator of how the country feels on a larger scale. Nigel Farage has visited and believes he can make major gains there. Kemi Badenoch will want to regain any lost ground here too. Any success will give her hope that her party is rebuilding, and she'll be looking for similar hope up in Cheltenham, where only half the council is up for grabs. That's 20 seats. Currently, the Liberal Democrats dominate here with a very strong majority. It would be very difficult for them to lose control, as it would require all of the contested seats to be taken by the same party. So this one's less about who runs the council and more about whether anyone can chip away at that lead. One other thing to watch out for on polling day is this man. Green Party leader Zach Polanski has seen support increase around the country on a national level. He will want to see visible proof of that by taking some seats in Swindon or in Cheltenham. Polling day is May the 7th, and whilst we don't have many seats up for grabs here, there are thousands across the country, and every party leader is feeling under pressure.
Our political correspondent Alicia Fitzgerald there. Now, hundreds of people have signed a petition calling on Bristol City Council to consider changes to new park licences that affect a postnatal choir. The Bring Your Own Baby Choir is one of dozens of small businesses hit with new charges following the introduction of the new licensing scheme last month. The organiser says keeping her choir affordable has become difficult now, but the council say the licences are needed to make sure Bristol's parks are safe.
No new schools for children with special educational needs will be built in North or South Wiltshire after councillors decided the money would be better spent on specialist provision in existing schools. They voted in favour of taking an offer of £4 million of government money over funding for new schools after hearing bricks and mortar provision would not be available for at least 5 years.
Drivers are being warned of heavy traffic due to the badminton horse trials, which started this morning. Around 170,000 visitors are expected to attend the prestigious equestrian event, which ends on Sunday. National Highways is advising motorists travelling on the M4 through South Gloucestershire and Wiltshire to plan their journeys ahead of time.
Now, you might remember a few months ago we told you about the Down End Boxing Club and Harry Crook Centre in South Gloucestershire. It's a much-loved part of the community, but its future, I'm afraid, is in doubt because the building is in desperate need of repair.
Well, there is some good news tonight. As they've just learned, they will get some funding for urgent work, but the battle is by no means over. Ellie Barker is there for us live tonight. Oh, you're getting stuck in there, Ellie. Even despite you being there, they've even got a tougher battle than that, haven't they?
They really have. Look, they are welcoming everyone in this training session. Look, Flav has given me some tips. How am I doing, Flav?
Terrible.
Terrible. But look, everybody, all standards are welcome here. They've been here practicing all evening. It's truly wonderful. Let me introduce you to Marie. Marie, welcome to our programme. Marie, what does this club mean to you?
This club means that I like it because I have my older brother to look up to as a role model and stuff. And it keeps me fit and gets me out of the house.
You're doing so well. Go on, you keep going. Let's come down here. Now, Holly, what does this mean to you?
It's exciting at the end of the day.
It's really exciting. Go on, you don't let me disturb you. They've been non-stop. Here, this is Alfie. Alfie, sorry to interrupt you. Alfie, why do you love it here so much?
It's helped me out a lot and it's just fun to box.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And Miley, what about you? What do you love so much about it?
I think it's a good thing, gets you out of the house, keeps your fitness up. It's kind of like a second home. You come 3 nights a week, 2, wherever you come. It just gets you out of the house and it's a good thing to get your mind ready and set for the rest of the day.
That is wonderful. You keep going. You get yourself set up now. And over here, we've got Morgan. I'm going to duck a bit more. Morgan, punch a little bit stronger. But Morgan, you go to university here, and this gym, it serves universities. Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, without this gym, we wouldn't be able to compete. We wouldn't be able to go to any competitions. We wouldn't be able to get any bouts in. Yeah, without this, we couldn't do anything.
Okay, well, look, we'll keep you, we'll let you carry on. But Craig, look, this is all thanks to you. Thank you for letting us come into this session. Now, you set this up in 1992. You've only ever worked as a volunteer. I mean, this is hugely important to you and this community.
Very much so. The work that you see going on here is tangible. It's real. It's not manufactured. And everybody has grown this club to where it is voluntarily. Hundreds of volunteer hours are behind it, and well worth it.
I mean, we've got some good news about the work, but this is only the start. What would you like to see happen?
I would absolutely love to see a state-of-the-art facility for our young people. We've been going, as you say, since 1992, had several national champions, and even more kids converted away from negative street influences. That deserves investment and respect.
I mean, pardon the pun, but you really are going to keep fighting.
Very much so. We're not going to go quietly.
Okay, all right, well, thank you so much. Look, I better get some more practice in, but this fight really is going to keep going, isn't it, Morgan? Come on.
Ellie, I adore you. How lovely to hear from everybody. They adore that place, don't they?
I know. I really wish them luck. I hope they survive.
Yeah,
although Ellie's boxing career, I fear, may not be going too far.
That was very honest at the beginning, wasn't
Terrible.
it? Yeah.
Just terrible.
Well, if he'd have said, yeah, you're amazing, everyone would be like, oh.
He's lying.
Yeah, we'd have seen it, but her enthusiasm was 100%. Now, the ITV News continues after us, as ever, with the national and international stories. Here's Mary Nightingale.
Coming up on the programme, several hantavirus patients are evacuated from a cruise ship off Cape Verde, but now the row over where it should dock. The new trial exploring the benefits of double cochlear implants helping people to hear again.
It was like being reborn. It's the singularly best thing that has ever happened in my entire life.
And the 94-year-old piano player who's released his first album for charity. Will you join me for those stories and more at 6:30?
Never ever too late.
Yeah, it's all happening, isn't it? That's in about 13 minutes.
Yeah. Now, a community project in the lovely Weymouth is uncovering some of the town's history. 150 local volunteers, led by a team of archaeologists, have been excavating the site, which until a few years ago was a bowling alley and more recently, of course, a car park.
Oh, you've got to look under a car park. What lies beneath, though, is revealing its secrets now. Louisa Britton's been to take a look around the dig.
For 8 weeks, this car park in Weymouth St Nicholas Street has been stripped, uncovering what has remained hidden for centuries. Below the surface lie forgotten artefacts and structures, some dating back to when this stretch of land wasn't yet called Weymouth, but went by the name of Melcombe Regis.
We know the town was first founded by Edward I in 1280, and at the frontage we think we have some of the very first buildings that were established at the start of the town way back at that sort of period. We have that sort of continuity right the way back from the foundation of the town of Melcombe Regis in the 13th century right up to almost the present day.
We're finding out about what they're eating, what they're drinking. We're finding bottles, milk bottles, beer bottles, wine bottles. But this is the normal folk of Melcombe Regis.
That's it, isn't it? It's not sort of amazing gold finds or anything like that. It is very much what people were doing day to day, but that's part of what makes it so interesting as well.
I think so, and also we're getting quite a lot of imported pottery and some foreign coins and things that actually show the trade contacts with the wider world that you wouldn't get on a medieval rural site. You know, this is really, you know, it's a special thing for Weymouth.
The dig, unusual for its size and location, is led by a team of archaeologists. But the majority of those excavating the site are volunteers of all ages and experience levels.
Weymouth has such a breadth of history right back for thousands of years, and particularly on this site we've got layers of it. On other archaeological sites you're maybe dealing with just one period, but here we've got hundreds and hundreds of years. The further down we go, the further back we go, and it's just absolutely fantastic.
These are just ordinary people like you and I that lived hundreds of years ago, and we're finding some traces of that and bringing them sort of back to life a little bit.
I suppose also it's that impetus to just keep digging. There might be something just a little bit further down, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
There's more than 7 centuries of history here. Over there you've got what would have been some medieval cottages and their foundations, and here what would have been their gardens. But there's layer upon layer of history because these are Victorian coal stores. There's still lots to find with weeks still to go at this dig. The appeal for many of the volunteers here isn't just the chance to explore the town's history, but a sense of community which has been fostered by the dig.
I'm learning a lot about the history of Weymouth from other volunteers. I'm enjoying the camaraderie amongst the team of people, actually. It's really, really nice.
The digs in Weymouth are such fantastic community digs. It's just so welcoming to turn up and to know everybody. Also, you know, I moved to Dorset in about 2015 and didn't really know anybody, so coming and doing the dig, I've now made this sort of community of friends.
With local interest so high, the dig team will be hosting an open day on the 9th of May to share their finds, with the hope of more discoveries over the coming weeks. Louisa Britton, ITV News, Weymouth.
And you can see an extended version of Louisa's report over on ITVX.
Now it's nearly time for the weather, but before we get the forecast, we can join Charlie at Barrington Court in Somerset.
Yes, Charlie, you're getting hysterical about Wisteria, I hear.
Quite hysterical. And there are so many spring goodies. It's like the second wave of things that are coming into bloom. There's so much colour and so much smell here as well. But you're right, it's this stuff here, the wisteria, that people are flocking to see. Although it isn't this variety necessarily. I caught up with the head gardener, Sarah Holmes, earlier on today, and asked her why it is such an attractive plant and why so many people are coming here to see it.
Well, you've just got to look at it really, haven't you? And we're stood here and the scent is amazing. The bees are quite noisy as well. They're also all over it. Our visitors, every single one of them that's come into this garden, they've just all stared at it for ages, then whipped out their cameras and all taken photos in front of it. It's one of those plants that just gets your little heart racing.
It is lovely. It's sort of vividly three-dimensional as well, I guess, which is in the way it hangs down. But most people will be familiar with a kind of lilac or blue variety. So what's special about this white one?
Yeah, we've got a couple of the blue ones here, and I think they're probably more generally widely available. This white one is called Shiro Noda. It's a Japanese one, and I think the most sort of interesting thing about it is the length of the racemes of the flowers. What would you say, 60 centimetres, 2 feet, something like that. And it is more unusual, and I think it just stops people in their tracks. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, same here. Well, not what I was expecting at all when I came here. Notoriously, or, well, in many people's eyes, difficult to look after, but not necessarily so?
No, I don't think so. I think with a lot of horticulture, we just need to bust all those myths. Things are a lot easier to look after than you might think, and just give it a go. For wisteria, they don't like their roots to be sat in wet too much, so you need fairly free draining soil. If you're on heavy clay, you know, it might not work so well. This one is facing south, so it's in full sun, but it will grow in part shade as well. You just might not get as many flowers in part shade. Okay. And then when it comes to pruning, we do it twice a year. Once after flowering, sort of July, August, and you just cut the long whippy bits back to about 5 or 6 leaves. And then again in January, February, you take it back to sort of 2 or 3 leaves, or buds it'll be in there, because the leaves will all have gone. Also provides really good autumn colour as well.
Lovely stuff. And if people haven't got a garden and they want to pot grow it, is that possible?
It is possible. You want a very big pot though. Put lots of drainage in the bottom of it. As I say earlier, it doesn't like its roots sat in the wet. It will need a lot of water in the summer, but it's entirely possible to grow it in a pot and have something to have it climbing up into. Or you can make it into a standard, like a tree. That's also possible to do. So, very versatile plant.
Oh, Charlie, I've taken notes on everything. Shiro Noda, it's absolutely beautiful. You look like you're in a photo shoot there, I have to say. It's so nice. But how's the weather looking? Is it as attractive?
Kind of, yeah. Our camera operator Dave Hedges has made me look as good as I can be, and it has been wonderful just kind of walking around here and getting some of those top tips from Sarah. But yes, weather-wise, perhaps not quite as amazing. There's been a fair amount of cloud. We've had some sunshine, but it's felt a bit chilly today, hasn't it, with highs of only about 13 or 14 Celsius, and that will change a little bit as we head through the coming few days, but so too might the weather.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
So yeah, a little bit flat, maybe you could say, the weather as we head through the rest of this week, or also quite typical for the time of year, really, with just the occasional shower cropping up and bits of sunshine coming through from time to time, but certainly a chilly feel as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. The Atlantic shows, well, precious little, really. We've hardly got a breath of wind around today, which is why it helps to feel so still, but that's also why the kind of cool air has pulled across the UK. But later in the week, as fronts start to work their way a bit closer, we might see a few showery outbreaks of rain, so too we get just a bit of an injection of heat across the UK. So temperatures will be on the rise a little bit. As for this evening, well, we've got a fair amount of cloud here in Somerset. Some of that will break. For the most part, it's dry. Any prolonged cloud breaks are more likely across Gloucestershire and Wiltshire, where temperatures might get down to low single figures, but only if that cloud stays away for long enough. But I think for most of us, again, we're looking at a night of lows of 5 or 6 Celsius. So nothing too cold, but certainly a little bit chilly feeling first thing tomorrow. As for Thursday's weather, again, a dry day ahead. Hopefully a little less cloud as the day wears on. So a bit more sunshine trying to break through. The winds around more to a southeast, and that'll just bring temperatures back up to near normal at 15 or 16 Celsius. So just feeling a little bit warmer tomorrow, particularly if you're lucky enough to have some of that sunshine. As for the rest of this week and into the weekend, well, temperatures start to pick up a little bit. Note they're up to high teens, if not 20 Celsius in time. But with those fronts getting a bit closer, there's just hints that there may be a few more showers cropping up, perhaps more likely Friday into Saturday. So maybe a slightly less settled picture ahead, but hopefully a warmer one.
TUI sponsors ITV West Country weather.
Now, as well as the gorgeous views here, I mean, I wish you could smell some of this as well. It's absolutely gorgeous, and that white variety is even better. It smells absolutely delicious. So if you're lucky enough to get either one of these, then you'll be treated to not only a brilliant display this time of year, but the scent that you get from them and just the way it looks and fills in that space is brilliant. Hopefully a bit more sunshine would help too.
Oh, it really would. Charlie, thank you so much.
I'm going to buy you some of that.
I've got hay fever.
It's not an excuse for everything. Right, I'll be back at the 10:30 news.
Yeah. After the break, the ITV news continues.
Bye.